This is my review of Mob Psycho 100. Okay, so things are going well. So Mob is distraught over the fact that his master was kind of cut down just a little bit, and also points out his moral quandary. He needs to go and fight. He needs to go and fight because he knows that if he doesn't, people might get hurt. But he also knows that if he does, he'll be going against his master. So the best thing to do would just be let Reigen handle it. At which point Reigen gets up, apparently none the worse for wear, and effortlessly kicks the asses of all of the Scar members. And before putting them in the, and even Ishiguro, who tries to put up a fight against Reigen, but is unable to actually give much of a fight, and is just flung through a wall, and his mask falls off in the process. But it also be noted that people start to believe that Reigen doesn't have psychic powers in this, that Reigen suddenly has psychic powers in the scene, but then it's revealed that Mob actually transferred all of his psychic powers into Reigen when Reigen told him that it was okay for him to run away while he handled it. And it resulted being 1,000% gratitude for his master, which then overflowed into Reigen, and then that's basically why Reigen was able to just kick the asses of all the Scar members, and also was able to convince most of them to give up on their delusions and pulls them back into reality, both by pointing out, and basically just completely destroys their ideas of, hey, we're special. No, you're not. And basically points out that if he's a commoner and he's able to beat the piss out of them, then what does that make them? And at which point he's able to get through most of them, except for Matsuo, who kind of doesn't learn his lesson because he suddenly just has a evil spirit later at the end of the fight, and Ishiguro, whose mask aforementionedly falls off, and it's revealed that Ishiguro is in fact an old man with a lot of scars on his face. And Ishiguro completely rejects Reigen's view of the world, pointing out that he is indeed special, and that his psychic powers will make him popular, something that Mob adamantly points out isn't true. And when his ideals are challenged, he immediately summons a giant black hole around himself and tries to make the entire organization disappear and start from scratch. At which point Sho gets involved and eversely beats the crap out of Ishiguro and sends him flying through the floor. At which point he points out that he was actually working on recruiting members for the upper division, the HQ, and also points out that Mob is a coward for leaving Reigen to deal with it instead of fighting back himself. At which point he leaves, and the Claw remaining members of Claw decide to disband, except for Matsuo, who decides to summon one last evil spirit to finish them off, but it winds up being Dimple, and he winds up getting knocked out by Dimple. So, yeah. At which point it's revealed that Reigen can see spirits now, which is great, but then they just decide to leave and go do other things. So while and Sho kind of just decides to stay behind and do cleanup, which does come into play later because we do get a bit of story-driven stuff at this point. At which point everybody kind of just goes their separate ways. The remaining members of the Scars and Claw decide to just rejoin society and stop being children, which is what Reigen intended for them to do. Mob is still Mob. He's still trying to improve himself, but isn't, and then passes out in the middle of one of his meetings at the Body Improvement Club. And also Ichimizato. She's trying to get Mob to tell her what happened. And also we see that Teru has indeed decided to become a teacher at the Awakening Lab to teach the Awakening Lab kids how to actually use their powers and enhance them. So, yeah, overall, everything is wrapped up in a nice little bow for Chapter 1 for the first season, but it also opens up plot threads for the second season, such as Sho suddenly getting a call from his dad and pointing out that his dad probably shouldn't have so much pride in his organization since his organization was immediately destroyed by a bunch of espers from the inside out and came in and completely destroyed the place. And also that he should hurry up with whatever it is he's doing and come back to Japan before hanging up. So yeah, it sets up that Sho's dad is going to be the main antagonist for season 2, which he is, and it also establishes that not much has changed except that now Reigen can see evil spirits. And then to end the episode off, it shows them going on one last job before season 2 starts, where they go hunting for a Tsuchinoko. I think that's how it's called. Tsuchinoko or something or whatever along those lines. That Reigen just randomly found out was having a reward on its head. And they do find it, but Reigen is more concerned with the mushrooms in the immediate area, and the Tsuchinoko has apparently grown really massive for some reason. It's unknown why, but Mob immediately causes it to belch out a lot of what it was in its stomach, and it shrinks down to its normal size. Although neither Reigen or Mob really notice it, and Mob constantly tells Reigen that he should have picked up the Tsuchinoko, but is more concerned with mushrooms, and decides to grow them up for food. So yeah, that's how the episode ends. It ends with the Tsuchinoko hunt after a giant battle scene. And it's amazing. It's kind of one of those things that's just like, yeah, it ended off that way. And also Jimble apparently works at Spirits and such now, because Mob wasn't able to and sent him there to work there, because he, as he said, he passed out. And also the president of the student council decides to apologize to Onigawara, and Onigawara points out that he's not mad, but mainly because he kind of already suspected that's what happened so many episodes ago, but also points out that he realized that nobody really liked him, and now he's trying to improve himself to make himself more likable, and that's mainly what he's been doing for the past couple of episodes, trying to make himself a more likable and more rounded a person, just like Mob is, and realizes. So yeah, overall, people are starting to develop themselves better, and now both of Mob's parents have to worry about Mob and Ritsu having psychic powers, which is very concerning for them, because they don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, it sets up a lot of plot threads for season 2 about how the student president is planning to actually retire because of what he's done, which does become a plot thread in season 2, and also the leader of Claw is going to show up and serve as the main antagonist for the second season, which is also a thing that's set up here. But yeah, for the most part, the season wraps up most of everything in a nice little bow, while also setting up things for season 2, which is definitely what's going to happen, and in the manga, that's exactly what happens. But it isn't. But I do like this episode because it does tie things up, but not entirely, and continues onward with the plot threads for the second season. But yeah, I like this episode. It's a great season finale, and I will be reviewing season 2 eventually. But I do have something else I need to review in the meantime. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review of Mob Psycho 100, then what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. Helps me out, helps me improve the content for you guys. So I'm pretty sure you guys would want to go check that out if you want to help improve the show. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!